best place for below average Star Wars.
Hello there, and welcome to the Star Wars Show.
The best place for below average Star Wars.
I'm the Geordie Jedi Pete.
And I'm Canon Junkie XL Ian.
And we're here to talk about Star Wars.
I'm
Ian,
good,
how are you
mate,
doing?
yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Obviously, there's been a couple of Star Wars stories come out in the last week or so, which we're going to dive into. Not loads, but enough to do an episode about. So I'm pleased to finally be back talking Star Wars with yourself.
Yeah, it's always good to talk, mate. You know that.
Definitely. Obviously, hope everybody's staying safe out there. There's lockdown 3 here in the UK. Although the Prime Minister has announced he's planning to get out of lockdown, hopefully by summer, which will be fun.
So.
I've
had enough of this now.
Oh. Definitely. But I think one of the saving graces has been like Star Wars, being able to talk about it. And obviously, like last year when like lockdown sort of first came in here in the UK, was the same time as Clone Wars was running season 7. And then obviously we had Mandalorian to time over in the winter time.
Yes, we did, definitely. And I just rewatched Star Wars in general.
Definitely. It's always the best thing to rewatch. Speaking of Clone Wars, let's just talk about the first topic straight away. Obviously, the next animated series, The Bad Batch, which is a direct spin-off from the Clone Wars season 7, we were obviously expecting it maybe around sort of early spring maybe. So far, no release date. So when are you thinking we're going to get that?
I was under the impression that it was going to come out around April time, I would have thought, because that's when, obviously, you've got Book of Boba in December. But I'm not quite sure now, mate, to be honest. I've seen a few rumours going around that it's been pushed a month, so maybe it comes out in like May time. But I'm not overly sure, but I am looking forward to it. I watched the trailer again the other day, and it looks like something that's right up my alley. I love that time period, just after Revenge of the Sith. And to see, like, obviously we've seen the Jedi's perspective on it, the Sith's perspective on it. It'd be good to see how the clones obviously have to get used to being... Because it's not long after, I think it's about a year after Revenge of the Sith, where all the clones are branded to serve their purpose by Palpatine. Obviously, they just get thrown on the scrap heap, basically. So you've got a lot of clones. I wonder, it'd be interesting to see how clones deal with it. Like some clones, I'm guessing, will work for the Empire. I still believe we'll see like Commander Cody in this, and that'd be interesting to see what happens to him. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they react to obviously being told you've outlived your purpose in life and like trying to set up a new purpose.
Yeah, I think obviously like the clones get phased out after the Clone Wars end. The Empire feel that it's better to sort of rule by propaganda and have normal people joining the cause, thinking it's a noble cause, becoming soldiers. And then that's like one way of keeping the public in check. If most of them work for you and think that you're the government and you're doing the right thing, that takes away a lot of opposition straight away. And start with some of the new kind of novels. I know I've forgotten the name of the novel now. It was one of the young reader ones tying The Force Awakens, but it dealt with sort of stormtroopers, and then one of them takes a helmet off and one's a clone, and it's like one of the last remaining clones in service.
Yes, the Crimson Corsair, the Lost Treasure of Count Dooku.
So yeah, I've not read that one, but it probably appears in a few different ones. But there's that one, and then I think it was one by Jason Fry's.
Because the Crimson Corsair one, basically they go to a downed separatist ship. I can't remember what planet it's on, and obviously because they think they'll find the lost treasure of Count Dooku. But it turns out it's Kix from the 501st. He's obviously been in cryo this whole time. So he wakes up and obviously it's like 50 years after the Clone Wars, yeah. But I don't really know which Jason Fry was. Before the Awakening? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's one of those ones. If it's not before the Awakening, it was maybe because they had the Before the Awakening, which tied into the new trio, which it did a story about Rey, a story about Finn, and a story about Poe before the events of The Force Awakens, which is really good, really quick read as well. I recommend that.
Yeah, it's good.
And then they also did like 3 other sort of young reader books, but it was one about Leia, one about Luke, one about Han. So Luke one was Weapon of the Jedi, the Leia one was Moving Target,
and, Smuggler's Run.
and I think it was
I
Smuggler's
haven't read
Run.
that one yet. It's still on my bookshelf, to be fair. I need to read that.
I really enjoyed it. It's a quick read, mate. Really quick read, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think they use that. So you see, like there's like an Imperial captain asks to see like the helm, like the a troop's faces or something, if I remember correctly, and then they take the helmets off, and then one of them's a clone. It's like, oh, you must be one of the last ones in the service.
I vaguely remember skimming over that, to be fair. Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. I haven't read the book, but I do vaguely remember skimming over that somewhere.
Yeah, so what I'm excited about in Bad Batch is going to be, I want to see, I personally think the Bad Batch probably haven't got chips.
Yeah, I'm probably led to believe that.
So I think they're going to be the good guys, and I think you're going to have like maybe clone commandos or clone troops hunting down the Bad Batch. So it's like clone versus clone.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how they cope with that.
Yeah, definitely. Like Echo should have a chip though. To be fair, the one who joined from obviously they rescued him in season 7 of the Clone Wars, so he should have a chip. So it'll be interesting to see.
I wonder if like that's been defective though. Like now he was like tortured and like remade by the Separatist. Yeah, I wonder how much like that interferes with stuff. Like it'd be or maybe he does turn and then the clones, and then Bad Batch help him take it out. Maybe
I can definitely see that.
But I was expecting it to be like after WandaVision. I thought WandaVision will hit, then they'll hit me with a Star Wars the next month, and then they'll hit me with Winter Soldier.
Maybe it's
on Falcon.
I'm not
after.
quite sure. Like I don't know if Falcon Winter Soldier starts the 19th of March. I'm led to believe.
Yeah, so like that's what I was thinking. But now, to be fair, with the obviously here, like as we record this, Star's just launched here in the UK. Which, for those who don't know, Star is essentially all of the entertainment properties that the Disney company acquired with the Fox merger.
Basically Hulu, isn't it? Basically, all the adult stuff is Hulu in America, but we don't. We don't have Hulu. There's not. I don't think many countries have Hulu, so they've just said, "Oh, we'll stick it on a thing called Stars." This is another tab in Disney Plus, and that's all launched with all the with all the Fox, ABC properties and all that type of thing.
And it's a lot of content, so I'm thinking maybe because of that, I'm thinking, as we don't need to drop Bad Batch this month because we've got our like essentially you need one main event every month, and that keeps the subscribers there for
the only fair
another month.
So that is like it's a lot of content, but it's not anything new. I don't know, everything's about new these days, so I wonder. But like I said, I've skimmed through it this morning. From Family Guy on it is a lot of news. Is a lot of stuff.
Well, it's like as we were talking before we started recording. Like I think like some of the shows we mentioned, like there's a lot of content going on, including like classic content. So I think all of 24's gone on, for example. So like that's a lot of watching. Like that'll take you a month to watch that if you want to watch
Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all that type of thing. Family Guy.
Yeah. Desperate Housewives for the ladies. And the gents, I suppose, if you enjoy that show. But I think, like, so if that's come out and then Winter Soldier's March, then maybe April.
Yeah, because Loki's out in May.
Does make sense. So maybe that does make sense.
So there's a big gap. So if Loki's out in May and it ends in May, I'm guessing it'll end in like June. That's a big gap between June and Book of Boba Fett in December. So unless they're going to surprise us with something and put something in there, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far along things like the Marvel What If series and stuff. I know it's animated, isn't it? So I don't know if that's like going to just drop all of a sudden.
They might drop Hawkeye and that or something like that.
Yeah, or they might have like some of their Disney documentary series ready to drop.
Because they're doing like a Disney gallery for WandaVision, aren't they? Yeah.
Are they? I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool.
It's like the making of WandaVision. I don't know when that comes out. I'm guessing it comes out after the show's done, and then I don't know when though. I'm interested to watch. It's a different show, isn't it? It's different to anything they've done.
No, definitely, Alex. I've been really enjoying WandaVision. I think how many got? 3 episodes left. Is that right? 2 episodes. 2 left. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, I think we'll get an announcement sooner rather than later. Maybe with another trailer, maybe just to say, look, it's coming on this date. Get ready. Which I'm looking forward to getting. Do you think Fennec Strand will feature much in this season?
Bad Batch? I believe she'll. I don't know if she'll play she won't be like a main character, but I do believe she'll be at least in an arc or so, which I can't wait to see. I want to see. I love when stuff like that happens. Obviously, she's in the timeline of the Mandalorian, but now we go back to just after the Clone Wars, a lot younger Fennec Shand, and I believe we'll see other characters we know now. There's room to see like Boba Fett, some of the bounty hunters, because I think the Bad Batch are going to be working in like the underworld type thing. Possibly see Maul, that type of thing, working for the Hutts. So yeah, I love that era. Like that's why Fallen Order was such a. I like that era in Star Wars where the Empire's ascending and we have to see how it plays out. But this is like the earliest thing we've seen because obviously we see Palpatine's speech from Revenge of the Sith in the trailer, so it's going to be right alongside Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, speaking of Maul as well, taking us to our next topic. Obviously, Ray Park's Instagram, he's been posting. So he posted a picture of himself in like the Maul prosthetics, and that was 4 days ago. Now, I don't think that is a. I think it's an old picture. He's used the hashtag Solo Star Wars Story, but he's also used the hashtag The Phantom Menace. I think it's just put in the hashtags of where what he's been in. Yeah. He did not. But I know that he wasn't wearing the prosthetics in the.
Oh yeah, I get it. I get what you mean. He's put the ones that he's actually done live action. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
technically
so
it wasn't
picture
because he did the motion capture for the Duel of Ahsoka, but
I think he's just one way he's actually in the full makeup. I think. So this is just it's like he's got the headpiece on. It's not painted yet. That was 4 days ago, and then he was like sharing, like 15 hours ago, he shared like a video clip of Maul fighting Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
He's different. Do you reckon he's teasing
and then he also put a picture, it was like a drawn picture. Someone's obviously sent some fan art. He's just calling multiverse, and it's obviously his character from X-Men Toad, Maul. And then his character from G.I. Joe, which I can't remember the name of. Snake Eyes, so he played, I think. So I think I don't know. And then 14 hours ago he played another one where they're putting the headpiece on.
Yeah, I saw the one the other day as well where he posted with Sam Witwer and that.
So
has he gone
that's
now?
Gone,
no,
actually.
Right.
Unless it was only story, might be on a
definitely
story.
A post, so I remember seeing it. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, hang on a second. So looking back, he's been posting that much over the past few days that it's probably there. So there's a lot more. 6 days ago, this picture I'm getting chin prosthetics. So him in 6 days ago, Maul. So I think he maybe is hinting at something. I don't think any of those pictures are new. I think those pictures on his Instagram are old pictures. But I think it's a lot of more content in such a short space of time. I think maybe he's teasing. Maybe we're going to see Maul in Bad Batch. Maybe he's done some more cat work. Or maybe he's been signed on for Kenobi.
Yeah, maybe we see that live action duel like from Rebels. Maybe we just see it in like a flashback in Kenobi and that type of thing. Or maybe he's in Andor because obviously it'd be when he's running the Shadow. What's it called? The Shadow Collective.
Yeah, so you'd be running the crime syndicates, perhaps in that show, so it would make sense. Even if he's just there again, just to be in the background pulling some strings, which he wasn't Solo. So yeah, I think he's definitely. I mean, it might just be all coincidence, and he's just found some old pictures and he's posting them. But it's quite a lot in such a short space of time about sort of the same type of thing.
I love the character. I hope we see him again. Like I said, someone said to me on Twitter. Said, I said, I hope I see him. So the dog's kicking off.
But yeah, so I think Maul. I think he's definitely trying to tease something there. Hopefully, and I'm definitely going to see more in other stuff. And I like that how he's like. I like if it is true and he is going to be in something. I like how he's teasing it there. It's just like, oh, look at these old pictures. It's not like here I am on set. Like he's doing it in like quite a subtle way, which I do quite enjoy. So yeah, moving on from there. Obviously, he's been. It still classed as a rumor at the minute, I think, but I think it was the Castle Run transmission boys had the scoop of Aladdin's Mena Massoud being cast as a live-action Ezra Bridger.
I saw that. Yes, I did see that the other day.
So since they ran it on their feed, so they're the guys with the scoop, Castle Run Transmissions, and then it's appeared on sort of all the major places after that. So, for example, on JediNews.com, they've got it on there now, and they've credited Castle Run Transmissions, which is good. So I don't think there's been no comment from Star Wars or Disney Lucasfilm on any of this. They reckon that it's cast for the Ahsoka Disney Plus show, which makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
That's right.
You know, if she's looking for Thrawn, the reason why she's looking for Thrawn is because she's trying to find Ezra. And last time we saw Thrawn, Ezra was with him, and they ended up going into hyperspace with the space whales, the Purgle. Yeah, so definitely. What's your thoughts on sort of someone new coming into play, Ezra?
I kind of get it. Like, he obviously looks a lot like Ezra's thing. I've seen people say, what about Taylor Gray and all that, but I don't think he's done a lot of like acting in that, Taylor Gray. And obviously there is the thing, like Ezra is obviously Middle Eastern descent. Like, obviously not in Star Wars, there's no Middle East, but he's that type of like I can't remember to say it. He's based on like a Middle East. He's based on like Aladdin, which makes sense because now they're bringing in the real Aladdin to play Space Aladdin. So
yeah, definitely. When we meet Ezra, he's very much sort of dancing around. He's not singing, but he's almost dancing around town, like stealing middle run fruits to eat. He lives on his own because his parents are gone.
Kanan already calls him that as well, which is from.
Yeah, definitely. So the ties are already there. I enjoyed the new Aladdin.
I haven't seen it, to be fair. Yeah,
it's on Disney Plus, mate, so you'll be able to check it out. Obviously directed by I've forgotten his name. Jesus.
It's not John Favreau. No.
British director. He did he's one of my favourites. I can't believe it. I know the name, I can't say it. It's like my short-term memory.
I haven't got my iPad on.
He was married to Madonna.
Guy Ritchie, that's it. Yeah.
Guy Ritchie. It's a Guy Ritchie movie, yeah. So obviously Guy Ritchie directed Aladdin. It's on Disney Plus now. Check it out. I quite enjoyed it. I thought he did a really good job.
I saw a interview with him. Obviously, this is not anything related to the Ezra thing, but apparently after that, he found it hard to land roles. Did Mena Massoud. So if he's landed a role as Ezra Bridger in Star Wars, good for him.
Definitely. I think when you take on these roles, it is quite difficult. I think. Daisy Ridley, for example, like her roles haven't come
playing Rey. No.
Since playing Rey, I think she's just been in the press this week talking about how she'd like to play Spider-Woman. But I think 100% if someone went to her, come back and do a Rey series or a Rey movie or whatever.
There was them quotes from her. This is a recent interview, but there was quotes from her that like basically implied that she was done with the character. She didn't want to do anything to do with Star Wars. But she had an interview the other day which said, I never said that. I said I'd be happily to return to do a Rey thing.
I remember those quotes originally. I think what she was sort of saying was that like I need a break from it, and like you could read between the lines. It was like, if I've got work, I'll not come back. But it's like, but if you've got no work, anyone would come back. If that makes sense. So like obviously, I think she's only done a handful of movies.
Orient Express and all that.
Yeah, and then apart from that, obviously she's in a new one with Tom Holland. Yeah, but other than that, I can't think of any other ones that were like big.
Back at Rey one day.
That had like. Oh yeah, and I think it'd be sooner rather than later. I think the role's on there. I think like for whatever reason, I think she's a good actress, so I don't know why people want to hire her. But yeah, like that type of thing. Obviously, it sounds like Mena's been through the same thing since Aladdin. But obviously,
looking back, Hamill.
Obviously coming out. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you've got to be very careful with with what you do. Like, I was just watching a documentary called "You Cannot Kill David Arquette," And David Arquette in that video, in that documentary, talks about how, like, for 10 years, he kept going to auditions and like didn't get a role for 10 years. Like, so it can be hard when you get typecast. And I think he was typecast after he did the Scream movies as like a buffoon type character, even though you can certainly act a lot more better than that. So yeah, like it can be hard. So for me, I think like I said, I love Mena in Aladdin. If he has been brought on for Ahsoka or any other Disney Plus Star Wars show that we're doing, that's going to tie into sort of any of the events post Rebels or post the original trilogy. I just hope that like they haven't just handpicked him. Like I hope they've done a proper screening process. I hope Taylor Gray has had a chance to, if he wanted to. I hope they've said, "Do you want to come in and read?" And they've given him a chance to read and a chance to get the role. Fair enough if he doesn't win it, but like you give him that chance to make the magic work and to get the role. I think is very important.
It's a very thing going like people who do the voice acting don't normally do it. Obviously, Katie Sackhoff's different. She's a legit actress. I'm not really aware of anything Taylor Gray has been in. I think I'll be careful of like branding people like that, but like he certainly has acted in live action stuff. He's done stage shows. He's come over, like he's done comedy festivals over here in Edinburgh. So he's done a wide range of stuff. I think like, you ring this guy up and you say, look, I definitely believe he should get the chance.
Casting call's gone out. You might not get it, but like come in and read. But I think like, if you look what happened to Ashley, not even getting told about it and then not even getting a chance to read either, I think was a bit cowardly. Like almost as if you were too scared to tell her, and then you end up finding out a different way, and it ends up being worse for everyone. Like, do you know what I mean? So I hope that if they are casting that character, I hope Taylor Gray's at least had a shot, or they've offered him a shot. Like say maybe he doesn't want to do it, but at least offer him that shot, because he's the guy who brought the character to life, and he's a big part of the success of that Star Wars Rebels show. And without Star Wars Rebels, you probably wouldn't have Mandalorian, because Dave Filoni wouldn't be where he is. The characters that come back into Mandalorian and make a big deal wouldn't be where they are. Like that's just fact. So I think definitely like you definitely need to give Taylor Gray a shot to try and win the role. Like I said, if he doesn't win it, he doesn't win it. But at least like everyone knows he had a chance, and as we're going with this one guy because he fits the vision better for live action. Fair enough. Do you think he'll be a big role in the Ahsoka series if Ezra does turn up, or do you think it'll be like the whole series will be the search for Ezra, and then he'll turn up at the end, almost like Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens?
I think we'll see things from Thrawn's perspective as well. We don't know what's happening. We literally know nothing. We don't know where Thrawn is. Are they still together at this point? Has he left Ezra stranded somewhere? We don't know. So I have no idea, mate. To be honest. I'd like it to be a bigger role. I wouldn't like it to just be like the last scene of the series is just Mena Massoud turning around and then that's it. I'd like to see Ezra like with a lightsaber and all that type of thing. So I'm not quite sure, but no, I would be more than happy for that. Yeah, to see. I would like to see more than just like a cameo. And obviously, we've got no news on who's playing Thrawn, but all I keep hearing that it's going to be not Mads Mikkelsen. What's his brother called? Lars Mikkelsen. Because he does the voice for him in Rebels. So and he's like, I think there is talk. I don't know. It's nothing official, but there is talk of like him obviously playing Thrawn. So
we will wait and see, mate. Because I imagine if this is the story they're doing for Ahsoka, then they've got to cast a Thrawn. They've got to cast a Sabine.
Who knows who else as well.
So
I find it hard to believe if they're going to find Ezra. I find it hard to believe that Hera wouldn't go with them. I find it hard to believe that Zeb wouldn't go with them.
I just don't know. Hera's tied up in the New Republic, isn't she now? So it's like I don't think she could do a Han where Han like, well, I'm gonna get stripped of my general title to go and help Chewie save the Wookiees. Well, he's getting more about Chewie. He's like, we've won the war, and now I need to save my friend. And the New Republic don't want to get involved in Kashyyyk.
No, not right now.
So he's like, well, fine, I'll do it myself.
Very Han Solo.
Which he did.
That fits the character. That fits
Yeah,
the character.
like, but again, like,
oh, screw you, I'll do it
what's his
myself.
best friend as well? Like, yeah, it's his best mate. Like,
Yeah.
he saved me so many times in my life. I'm gonna go. I need to go and save him now. So I think, like, I don't think Sarah would do
I
that.
think she'd be bound
For
by,
example, I don't think she'd give up her
duty.
especially when you look at when you read Alphabet Squadron and you see how involved she is with sort of the New Republic Navy. Like,
she's pretty.
She's very involved.
In charge of Rogue Squadron at one point.
Yeah, so like she's very involved.
I think if Hera's to pop up anywhere,
All type
I
of
think we'll
stuff.
see her at Rangers in the New Republic. I think we'll see her there, to be honest.
Yeah.
If she's going to pop up. But yeah, I've got a few hopes for Rangers. I hope we see, obviously, I think Cara Dune was supposed to be leading that, but obviously that's not happening now. That's all we'll say about that. But I think there's scope for Gina Gavankar to play Iden Versio to lead the Rangers in the New Republic. That type of thing. I think that'll be a good change of pace to have Gina come in and reprise Iden Versio. Because those three characters, obviously Del Meeko, Iden Versio, obviously we won't see Gideon Haas. They're all look exactly like their characters. So
no, definitely. Yeah, I think that'll be a good tie-in. I think Battlefront 2's campaign was rich of so much story, even though it's short.
Plus the book as well.
I think definitely
good. Infernal Squad. It was a very good read. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, very good.
But yeah, I'm just really excited. Like, it's all madness at the moment. Like, even when Disney first took over, you thought they're never going to, like, obviously they're never going to go and do people like Thrawn and all that type of thing. And now it's like, okay, literally anyone can turn up now.
Definitely. But yeah, just to clarify the Mena Massoud thing. By the looks of it, there's no sources have been given, like named, and no one's commented. So Castle and Transmission have addressed it as a scoop, but it is officially a rumour at the moment.
Apparently, it's not final either. Like he's in like the last phase of talks to play the role, so it's nothing that is 100% official. Obviously, it's only 100% official when you hear it from Lucasfilm. But like I say, when you start seeing people like Hollywood Reporter and all that start reporting, that's when you can pretty much nail it on. Like all the leaks on the Mandalorian that were reported in the Hollywood Reporter and all that turned out to be true. So
yeah, definitely. I would like to think they've addressed that leak problem by now
it must
within
be
the company.
To do within COVID and that, and people just these days people just can't keep their mouth shut. They can't do it. That's why I find it absolutely astounding that they kept the Mark Hamill thing quiet.
Yeah, but it goes to that you can.
Just John, Dave, and Mark that knew about that.
So, I mean, I don't know. For me, I think like all these people sign NDAs. If they're going to be silly, then guess what?
If I got to work on the Star Wars thing, I would keep my mouth shut.
Well, you legally, but if you go against your NDA, I'm sure you can get sued. That's the whole point of the NDA. Like sort of executing those, like unless it's a legitimate accident, like fair enough. But like, well, some of that seemed like I think that was more set up by the company.
I think
I feel it was like, let's make them look like a silly.
For Avengers Endgame, they just don't give them any scripts. Yeah,
but it turned into that sort of little joke by the company. It was like, and then like he was sort of saying things by accident, but like laughing, and it was like, and they turned into a bit of like a character piece during the promotion.
Funny,
was it fun? But like, I think that was like driven that way. Unlike, say, for example, Celebration Europe, where the guy who plays David Malbus lets the all die.
I remember watching that. I was like, well, what was
that? I think that was an accident. Obviously, just
like a
mixed them
barrier type thing, and that you did let it slip in that. You could tell, but it's like it's all right. You didn't mean it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they move quite like, very clever.
Let's move on.
Right, let's move on. Like, and obviously you had I think it was I can't remember who was hosting that one. Was it Gwendolyn Christie? I think Gwendolyn Christie was like hosting
it. Warwick Davis. I can't remember.
No, it was. Gwendolyn Christie was hosting the panel, and she moved around quite quick as well. So I think like yeah, I think like there's times when things by accident, but like them ones from the summer,
No.
were not like slip ups. They were like someone has went and rang fucking Hollywood Reporter and told them everything. Essentially,
the whole film's leaked, like the whole plot.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to go into names and stuff, but it looks like there was like certain people online who had been given access to the behind the scenes stuff, and were then like sending those like images into people's inboxes, like almost like from like some dodgy behaviour going on from some of the. I said I don't want to name anyone because I don't know how true it is, but it's definitely no smoke without fire. But like, you know, chatting with people online and going, "Oh, do you want to see this?" And it was like the picture was the picture of Ben and Ray with the two blue lightsabers, and like ruining the movie for people. And then like, I mean, luckily I don't really dive into too much social media. Like I have it, but I'm not on there like a lot. If you know what I mean, I'm on there to like post what I need to post, and then I'm out of there. And I don't really follow too many. I follow the people who I like in the circle. I don't follow everyone. So like again, a lot of the stuff that goes down on there I don't see, which I'm glad. But I know I like people who were like accidentally saying stuff. So well, I think obviously like Savannah from the Dorky Diva show, obviously like you know like really good friend of mine. I think she obviously muted everything, muted all the buzzwords, everything. And then like she somehow come across those images.
That's the thing that annoyed me though. There was people posting stuff like at the premiere. It's like really, like the film's not even out yet. Like.
Yeah, but I think they've been sitting on images for a while as well. Like I think like I thought so. I think someone is inside it is getting things out, and it's just like you know, if you know who it is, and just find them.
Yeah, because I'd like to go back to the thing where we're
legitimately
surprised. Like it's one thing like knowing like if they're going to do an Ahsoka show, you have to assume that Thrawn's going to be in it. You have to assume that Ezra's going to be in it. But it's one thing. It's one thing assuming, and the other thing like getting told.
Yeah, and obviously they've announced his name beforehand. Like in the, no, she said the word Thrawn. So like, and I think like, and for me, I think like again, the company to get ahead of these leaks. Like if someone reaches out to you for comment, and then you're not going to comment, then you need to run your own story on your own website before they get rid of it. Then you get the scoop on them. Like, do you know what I mean? If I was Lucasfilm and no one in the Hollywood Reporter, I would like, oh, it's Ahsoka and it's Rosario Dawson. I would have when they reach out for comment, I would have said no comment. And then before they could run their story, so like that day, I would have run a behind the scenes photo, which they had, because as we've seen in the documentary, like they were running cameras the whole time. Like, and I would have like, oh, he has Rosario Dawson on set, and then you've got the scoop on everyone else. Just control the narrative. It's for me, it should be simple. Like, I don't understand why the PR guys don't think that way. But
who knows?
It is what it is. Like I said, hopefully no crazy spoilers coming out coming this year. Yeah, I think like moving on to that, obviously been quite a lot of Boba Fett news this week. Obviously, Temuera Morrison's been on New Zealand talk show. He obviously mentioned that he's currently filming the book of Boba Fett.
Interview this morning before we started. I saw it was like a little 4-minute thing. No,
did he give much away?
He just said they obviously they're in lockdown in New Zealand for 3 days, and then he was saying, "Well, I'm in LA at the moment, filming." And they said, "Oh, what are you filming?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm filming the book of Boba." And they're like, "Oh, that's really cool," and all that type of thing. And then the only thing I did see, which was awesome, he had a T-shirt on, and it had Boba Fett and a bunch of stormtroopers. Obviously, because we're working. He says him and Robert Rodriguez are going to form the band, and they were called Boba Fett and the Storm Groovers or something like that. It was quite funny. Like I want that T-shirt, but other than that, mate, he didn't really give anything away. He just said he's filming the Book of Boba, and that was it. Really, he didn't say anything.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Obviously, when you knew they'll be filming sort of early this year, I think they'll wrap that around before the end of March, probably.
He did say he's doing a lot of training. He said it's quite physical, so obviously we're going to see him swing that gaffy stick, I think, again.
Maybe made
awesome.
hopefully.
Any time I want to watch any part of The Mandalorian, the one thing I go to is that episode. Because it's just pure craziness. No, just hearing him talk about Jango Fett and all that, it's like, this is madness. But,
yes, I think like obviously he's getting in shape. He's working hard on a set of Book of Boba. And I reckon that when that finishes, I think we'll start Mando season 3 within a month of that. So if he's going to appear in that as well, maybe he's going to hang around and just do both back to back.
Yeah, they're all interconnected, these shows. But like this year seems to be the year. I put it on Twitter the other day. It seems to be the year of Boba Fett with the show and all the merchandise that's coming out, and obviously the newly announced comic.
Yeah, so obviously we've got War of the Bounty Hunters, new comic series coming soon. Obviously, Maul being quite clever. So like when they first got licensed back in 2015, they ran comics that were between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. So all the comics that came out that were in like weekly runs, apart from like the one-off miniseries, obviously they didn't, but all the weekly ongoing series tied into the same time frame, which is really cool. That time frame came to an end, and they've rebooted it up.
Yeah.
And now it runs from between Empire and Jedi, and then they're bringing this. So that's already started in its titles. That the Star Wars title and the Dr. Aphra title, and then obviously now they're bringing War of the Bounty Hunters, which Boba Fett is going to have his own. Is it a 5-issue run on this? And then it's also going to cross over.
It's going to cross over. I'm just trying to find the announcement now. I've just had it up, but I've just lost it. But yeah, it's going to cross over with the 4 main Star Wars comics. The only one it misses out in is High Republic, because obviously that's a different time frame. But yeah, it'll cross over with the main Star Wars comic, the Darth Vader comic, the Dr. Aphra comic, and the Bounty Hunters comic. And it will. It's written by Charles Soule, and it will. I'm trying to get the actual announcement here. Obviously, it will take place. So the main story we're dealing with is a Boba Fett focused crime epic. It involves Boba Fett going up against some of the heaviest hitters in the galaxy. It's Jabba the Hutt, it's Black Sun, it's Darth Vader, and all that type of thing. So yeah, it's basically, obviously, the last time we see him in Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett has in possession of Han Solo. Apparently, at the start of this story, he will lose possession of Han Solo. That's what it says in the announcement. And it will be the story of how he gets Han Solo back, obviously working against other bounty hunters. Vader wants Solo, I'm guessing, to try and lure Luke into a trap.
I think that's going to be really awesome, like having the fact like Boba loses Han. Obviously, he needs to get Han to Jabba the Hutt to make his money. So he needs to combat these other bounty hunters who perhaps. But then also Vader wants to steal Han back as well, because his plan to take Luke to the Emperor didn't work.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that's a cool way. Obviously, learning that he loses possession of Han at the start of the event is really cool. Like, I'd never thought that. I always thought to be fair, in my head, I always thought he just went straight to Tatooine and that was it. Because it seems like Jabba's had him for a little while. But no, it looks really exciting. It looks really good. Marvel said it's the biggest story they've told, and obviously Charles Soule, who is my favourite Star Wars comic writer, is obviously leading the project, and he's promised it'll have an impact. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely. I can't remember, but in the first volume of the current Star Wars comic that's running, when Lando goes to Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
Han's not there yet, is he?
No, he's not, no.
So maybe this is going to tie into sort of why Han's not there yet, and sort of why he hasn't been dropped off, which is quite cool and interesting. So I don't know, did you enjoy the Screaming Citadel? That was sort of the tie-in during the there was 2 tie-ins during the first run. It was obviously Screaming Citadel and also Vader Down.
I love Vader Down. Thought it was great. I did not really enjoy Screaming Citadel, to be fair. I thought.
So you hope this?
Yeah, love it.
You hope this one's going to be more like Vader Down?
Yes, yeah. Screaming Citadel was a bit weird for me. It was a bit like vampires and stuff, and it's a bit like it did. No, it's Screaming Citadel. Yeah, that is right. Yeah,
that is. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
With the Queen that can suck the Force out of people. It was a bit like, I know Star Wars can be weird, but it was a bit too weird for my taste, to be honest.
Yeah, it was very weird. So I'm quite excited about the series. Obviously, sort of the resurgence of Boba Fett going on right now. We've got the Book of Boba Fett coming out. We've got this comic series going to deal with him. There's also a Hot Toys collectible coming out, which is like sort of how you find him in Mandalorian with the black cloak, and then also comes with the armor from to be sort of the Fat Fett, as people call him. I don't call him that because I think he looks beefed up.
Plus,
like he's not fatty. He's not fat. He's just beefed up. He's ready to chin people.
Plus, he might hear this and come knock 10 bells of hell out of us.
Well, exactly. I don't want to swinging that stick at us.
No.
What do you make of that Hot Toys?
I think it's unbelievable. I've always liked Hot Toys. I've always thought they look amazing, but I just can't justify paying that for a toy, even though as much as I love Star Wars and that. But this is the one that is seriously going to tempt me in that, because I'm guessing it'll be a couple of years before it ships. So if it is, I've got chance to save money for it. So yeah, if it's like a decent price, which I know it won't be, I might take the plunge on this one.
Yeah, it does look awesome. Like I said, it's sort of Boba Fett, how we find him in The Mandalorian. So I think he comes like in the black cloak with the Gaddafi sticks and the rifle. And then it also comes with his armor as he puts it on and joins the fight.
It's two figures
in the tragedy, which is pretty cool. Moving on from that, obviously, Alphabet Squadron book number 3 is coming soon, March 2nd, I think, for Victory's Pride.
Yeah.
So it's flying, but it's crazy when you think about I still haven't finished Shadowfall, the second Alphabet Squadron novel. I really need to
really good.
Get reading. I need I've got 3 on the go at the minute. So I've got that because I've started.
Yeah.
So I've started Alphabet Squadron 2. I've started Throne. I've got one chapter left, Throne Treason.
Nah.
I've started Light of the Jedi. Justine Island's Young Reader
Test
1 that's just arrived this week. And then I've got a lot of reading to catch up on.
Yeah.
So I might try and nail some of that in this next
That's
week.
Throne Treason. I've tried to read it a couple of times, I just can't do it.
I've been enjoying it more than I wouldn't say enjoying it. I found it easier to read, which I don't sound silly because I'm not finished. That's just because of my stupid habits. But I found it easier. It flows easier than Throne Alliances.
Yeah, like I said, I got about halfway through when it first came out, and I was like, I think it's hindered by having to be sandwiched in between Rebels. Obviously, the Throne Chaos Rising that came out last year was very good because obviously it's him. It's totally in the unknown regions before he even joins the Empire and that, so it's a lot more freedom. I just think it was a bit hamstrung with having to fit in between seasons 3 and 4 Rebels.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But yeah, for me, it was just a bit like the just board meetings.
Yeah.
But, no, like I said, I've enjoyed all the other Throne books, and I will eventually read it. But no. But yeah, Shadowfall is very good. I'm super worried for these characters that have come in these books for the last book. I'm super worried that someone's going to die because I really do enjoy these characters. Obviously, and yeah, I'm reading Into the Dark at the moment by Claudia Gray. I need to read A Test of Courage before I get my hands on Victory's Prize.
So we've both got a lot of reading to do, and I guarantee that you're going to read them all, and I'll probably still be no further forward.
I will go, mate, probably.
I need to really sit myself down, dive in. Speaking of publishing, and so I know that issue 1 of the High Republic comic is now in its 4th printing.
Yes.
So very successful. Obviously, I know all the novels have hit New York Times bestseller list.
They have.
And this comic is now on its 4th printing, which is fantastic news. Obviously, really, really healthy, really positive start for the High Republic era in Phase 1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the comic is really good as well. Yeah, by Cavan Scott. Yeah, it's really awesome. There's only 2 issues at the moment. I think the 3rd one's out in a couple of weeks. But that's one, the comics I really enjoy. I get the trade paperbacks for, and I'll definitely be getting the trade paperback for this one as well.
Cavan Scott, who did he did Dooku Jar.
He did, yeah, and he's done a lot of the Star Wars adventure comics. He did Tales from Vader's Castle and all the Halloween ones from Vader's Castle and all that.
Are they published through IDW?
They are, yeah. We can't get them in this. We can't get them digitally in this country, which is great in the lockdown. And to be fair, my nearest comic shop's in Middlesbrough, so it's a good 20 hour. I can't really be going to Middlesbrough every other week. But I found the workarounds of how to get the IDW ones. So I found a workaround for that. So I know how to get them. But yeah, I won't go into that here.
Good. We've had that sort of ties us in for the stories today. The last story really is just that Disney have filed some patents for some technology to do with the theme parks. And it looks like it's going to be stuff to do with the Star Wars hotel that's coming to Galaxy's Edge in Florida. So the hotel is the Galactic Cruiser Hotel. And the whole idea is that you'll stay on board this huge Galactic Cruiser. So that'll be your hotel for your stay at the Disney parks. I mean, God knows how much it's going to cost. Probably
I know for a fact I'll never be able to afford to stay on it.
Probably £1,000 a night, maybe. But who knows? But I mean, the whole idea, it's a cool idea. Like, so every window looks out into space, and like you're on board a spaceship that's in space is the whole idea. And like the first patent is around image generation technology. And I think that's going to be to do with interacting with sort of holograms and stuff. So obviously, if messages are coming through, obviously the technology in Star Wars is holograms. So that'll be what it'll be on the spaceship, I'd imagine, if it's going to be tied into canon that way. So they'll get to develop the technology where like you might get your messages about like the hotel and stuff through a hologram, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's also like a themed aerial vehicle entertainment platform for providing a dynamically coordinated show. It's like who knows what that is.
No, God knows.
But it could be. I know that, like, for example, the fly X-wings over Galaxy's Edge and stuff, and like the drones that are in sync. I think. So it could be to do with that, maybe. Maybe there's going to be like, I don't know, fighters flying past the hotel, or like who knows what at this stage. Yeah, definitely. And then there's also a so they filed the one for the window that looks into space now. Large scale infinity optics window for use in small facility packaged applications. So that'll be like, obviously, big windows in the common areas are probably easier to do, but like every window in your hotel will look out into space technically. So they filed like 3 patents that will do with technology for the Galactic Star Cruiser, which, you know, although it's going to be really expensive, I think it's like a really, really cool
definitely.
idea. Hopefully it's not that expensive. But that article's on JediNews.com now, so if you want to go and check that out there. And you can go to Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser.com as well for more details about what's happening with the hotel at Walt Disney World in Florida. I think that ties us up. Obviously, you know, we've talked about Mena Massoud, we've talked about Boba Fett, we've talked about the War of the Bounty Hunters coming, which is going to be really exciting. Got a couple of questions coming from a couple of listeners. So the first one is, obviously over the weekend it was Anthony Daniels' birthday.
It was.
C-3PO himself, so happy birthday, Anthony Daniels. We've been asked, what are some of our favourite C-3PO moments from throughout Star Wars?
Mine personally, I really enjoyed him in The Rise of Skywalker. I think he was one of the best parts of the film. He had a lot of lines in that movie that I really enjoyed. Obviously when it's his mind wiped and that, and then he's like, "Oh, Babu Frick's my oldest friend," and all that. Like, I think it was his best performance as C-3PO in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, he was definitely on point. I think Anthony Daniels did a great job in Rise of Skywalker. I think some of my favourite moments are, I love him in Empire, just the way he adds that sort of dark humour to the situation, and he's back and forth with Han constantly. And how you don't think anyone's going to side with, you don't think Leal'll side with Han over 3PO, but then she eventually does when she turns him off. So that was like that whole movie for me for Empire was really cool. Just moments like A New Hope, like when they're trying to stop the garbage compactor from compacting.
Yeah.
And then and they're talking through the comms back and forth, Luke to C-3PO, and then but the drama and like the the tense feelings you feel, even though they both aren't in the same room, because of like the brilliant performances. I think like when like they start screaming because it's stopped, and say for people it's like, oh, they're dead and they're all sad. Like again, like it really hits you. That he really believes that.
I really enjoyed the slapstick stuff in Attack of the Clones as well. I know some people don't like it, but I really enjoy the stuff where his buddy head's getting dragged off and he says, oh, it's such a drag and all that type of thing. It is funny to me.
No, definitely. Again, like, you know, he's always been like sort of a comedic figure in the story. Like, you know, the story's quite serious when you look at it. When you strip away all that out, and you need that comedy in there, really. So like, I think, like, you know, he adds that in there for the 100%. Definitely. I think Clone Wars obviously does voice him in Clone Wars. I like the one where they go to buy that fruit.
Then he gets kidnapped by Cad Bane.
That episode of Clone Wars where R2 and C-3PO are sent to buy some fruit for Padme Amidala's Senate party, and they go to buy fruit and they end up like getting kidnapped by Cad Bane. Yeah, and it's quite hilarious what ensues there as well. Again, humour. So yeah, I think like they're some of my favourite moments. Also, I know Anthony Daniels can be quite
eccentric.
I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
Eccentric, yeah. I've never met him one-on-one. I have walked past him a few conventions, and he's always done something that's made us laugh. So for me, again, like comedic there, like he's always made me laugh and smile. So thank you very much for that, Anthony, and happy birthday. I hope it was a good one. And I'm pretty sure we will see you in a Star Wars project again soon.
Most definitely, mate,
yeah. Another question. Which story from Legends besides Thrawn would you like to see brought into canon? So I'm going to take this as like not an exact story brought in to canon. Like, you know, the Thrawn story wasn't brought into canon, just the character was really, and a few things about him, but like the whole story wasn't. So like, sort of, what things would you like to see handpicked from Legends and maybe brought into canon?
Knights of the Old Republic, the Darth Bane trilogy, and Darth Plagueis, the book. They're my three.
Yeah, that book by James Luceno is a brilliant book. I think I don't know how well it fits in with everything they're doing at the minute, with sort of the High Republic being very close to that era, and then also the I forgot the name of it, but the Dark Side series they're developing.
The Acolyte.
The Acolyte. Yeah. So I don't see why they can't do High Republic, do Acolyte, and then change that story to fit that, and then bring him in if they're going to do that. It's a perfect time really to do it with them shows coming out, and with the Publish Initiative now dealing with that time period. Perfect time. I think Old Republic. I think it will come. I think it'll be movies.
Darth Bane though is the canon Sith Lord who created the Rule 2, and that's in canon.
Yeah, he is. So like he sort of already is canon. The trilogy books obviously
we saw him in the Clone Wars.
No, definitely. Yeah, we saw his ghost. Obviously voiced by Mark Hamill. We saw his ghost, which is tied to his tomb. That Yoda confronts. Yeah. So, but I think that'll tie in with Old Republic. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I can see that being a big thing. Maybe not now, but maybe in 10 years. Maybe in 10 years' time, like I can see that being the movies we're getting.
There was rumours a while back of the Darth Bane project in development, but that was the time where like literally any character was in development. But no, Darth Bane, I would love to see that. Those books are so good, and I just want to see that story, obviously in canon, of how, because obviously the Sith once were in their thousands, and obviously he's the last of their kind, and obviously he starts the Ruler 2 that obviously sets them on their path to victory about 1,000 years on.
Yeah, I mean, Darth Bane actually wipes the Sith out.
He does in the books, yes, in the thing he does.
So he actually like forces the Ruler 2 upon them, really.
He realises that the way, because obviously in the books they have this thing called the Brotherhood of Darkness, where each Sith Lord is equal, and Bane is like, this is not the way of the Sith. Obviously, he takes a lot of teachings from Darth Revan, and a lot of ancient Sith Lords, Darth and Dedu, and all that type of thing. It obviously comes to the conclusion that this is not the way of the Sith. We need to two. It can only be two: a master to hold the power and an apprentice to crave it.
Who would be your ideal casting for Darth
I've
Vader?
no idea. I'm terrible at fan casting. I have no idea, to be honest. This is the obvious one. It's like people like Tom Hardy and that, but that's basically just because he played Bane. I saw Dave Bautista branded about, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not quite sure, mate. Anyway, do you have an idea of who?
For me, I'm not really attached to anyone. I think you might have to go like unknown, just because of like how much of a big deal that would be. Like, it's easy to say Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's fantastic, but like just because he can play a man in a mask with a funny voice doesn't mean he can. Doesn't mean he can do it again. But he's that good where he would, physically would dominate the role, and like he's a very good actor, so he could pull it off. Batista, I like what Batista's doing in the roles he gets. He's doing really well.
People just say Batista because he's like big, muscled up and bald. That type of thing.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Obviously, but I'd love Darth Vader to be in it as well. Obviously, that's his apprentice in the books who eventually takes his place as the Dark Lady of the Sith. And there's I would like that book to become canon. Then obviously the last one's Knights of the Old Republic. I've said that before. I think it's a great Star Wars story. Revan, Malik, Bastila Shan. But I do think there's scope. Obviously, there is talks of a new Knights of the Old Republic game in development. We've seen that. So maybe they're going to go the game route. But I definitely think Knights of the Old Republic could have been like a trilogy of movies.
I think it will. I think maybe the game might test the thing. I think about what Star Wars is doing now, what they've announced. This is stuff for the next decade. And then the decade after will be something different. So, like, I'm thinking, like, we can't have it all at once, so you just can't do that. But I think in 10 years, we'll get like Knights of the Old Republic movies, and it'll be like bloody Game of Thrones, Star Wars movie. It'll look fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I think we'll get that in the next like I said.
Yeah, I
10 years.
those old.
They might announce it in 5. If you know what I mean.
I remember watching them old cinematics for the Old Republic games. With like Darth Malgus and all that, and they look so cool. So I'd like to see it on screen.
Definitely. I've just got just last month I got the Jedi Knight 11 figure, Hasbro Black Series Gaming Greats. So that's quite a cool fig. Obviously I've got the Sith version as well, which is good. The Darth Revan figure as well.
The Darth Revan one to the Jedi one. It's like the outfit, but
I think. For who I'd want, for what I would like to bring from canon, from Legends, into canon. I'm not really tied to anything, to be honest. I think like as long as it's done well, I really don't mind. So like bringing Thrawn into Rebels, like at the time I wasn't craving that, but like when they announced it at Celebration Europe, like my mind went mental still,
and I wasn't, the trailer.
Yeah, but like I wasn't craving that from what he brought in, but then it fits so well and it would work really well. Ahsoka being brought in from Clone Wars Rebels. Again, I wasn't like needing that or craving it, but it works well, so I enjoy it. So for me, it's more about just if the right good stories. Yeah, if it fits, it fits.
That's what makes me laugh about Dave though, because I was watching. I stuck a bit of the gallery on yesterday for season 2 again. And he was saying about obviously Ahsoka coming in. He says, I only like to bring characters in that make sense. So that's all you need to know, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. So I'm going to pick one really for the question. I'm trying to think now. I don't know. I think like obviously like I would love a Knights of the Republic, but I wouldn't want it to be like a straight rip off like the exact same story. Like I want it to be like different, so that I don't know what's coming.
That's the thing, though.
But it'd
Like,
still
I
be
think
awesome.
you could,
Do you know what I mean?
tell that exact same story because there's a major twist in it as well in the actual story, and not a lot of people. Like I know, like I said, we all live in the bubble of Star Wars where everyone's playing Knights of the Republic, but for the general audience, I think it will make a really compelling story. But that,
So like that. Obviously, like, I really enjoyed the John Jackson Miller book, the Kenobi book. That's Legends, but obviously we're getting this Kenobi series. I think like,
no,
yeah, I don't think it'll be exact. I think there'll definitely be like themes taken and used. So like I'm sort of already getting that as well. So I've been quite lucky really with like that. That's probably one of my favorite Legends books is that Kenobi book, and it's sort of already tied in. And we had one more question, which I'm hoping was meant as a joke. Let me just find it. It's on. So yeah, is Jar Jar Binks a Sith Lord?
Not, no.
No, he's definitely not. I think he's.
No, I don't think he is.
He's far too like. I mean, if we're going to discuss that, because I think he's a very like caring character, and he's very giving. So like he's not selfish. Do you know what I mean? Which the Sith are selfish. Like he's not. Like, I think what he ends up doing. So anyone who's read the Aftermath trilogy, he ends up being sort of a joke of society, a homeless clown on the streets of Naboo performing. And the adults don't speak to him. He has a very lonely existence, so only kids come up and speak to him.
It's pretty sad, really.
It is, yeah. And like that's his sort of punishment for what he accidentally caused. If that makes sense. I think like a Sith wouldn't be like that. If that makes sense.
I don't see Palpatine being a street clown on the streets of Naboo.
Definitely, and as we said, sort of the rule of two, as we've already said, we know who the two are throughout that era. In the Phantom Menace, it is Sidious and Maul. In Attack of the Clones, it is Sidious and Dooku.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyrannus. And then in Revenge of the Sith, it moves from Sidious and Tyrannus to Sidious and Vader. And then it remains them two for the next 30 odd years. So yeah, I think we know who the rule of two are. So it's Jar Jar is not a Sith Lord, I'm afraid. But if that's in your head, kind of enjoy it. I know there was some art done recently. I can't remember who did it. It was online. Like they made like Jar Jar look like a really nasty piece of work. So maybe after that question's come from someone's been reading that. But have you got any closing thoughts before we close out the episode, Ian?
I'm good to go.
Awesome. Me too. Obviously, I know that sort of comic book shops are shut at the moment, and sort of toy stores. I have noticed that Forbidden Planet, I think they've just put 3 books up for pre-order that are signed. I don't know. I'll try and let's have a look. So 3 signed novels available for pre-order at Forbidden Planet. So that'll be on their website. So it's signed copies of upcoming novels by Adam Christopher, which I believe that is the Mandalorian one that we've been promised for like 2 years.
Yep.
Kevin Scott.
That's cool.
And Timothy Zahn. So the Zahn book is Seven Sea Greater
That's the
Good.
second Thrawn book that's coming up.
It is the Rise and Storm in the High Republic for Kevin Scott. And it is the Mandalorian original novel by Adam Christopher. So so they're all available to pre-order at Forbidden Planet as signed copies. So if anyone wants a signed copy of those books, get yourselves over there and get signed up. I'll probably just wait for get released normally. I'm quite this person. I don't know. Like if I met them, then yes, I'd want them to sign it. or even in the street, or like in a box. Really, I probably don't want to pay £30 or £25 for an autograph. I'd rather meet them out and about and then get an autograph. You know what I mean? It's all part of like the story, and you tell people, like, oh, look at this, like, you know, like I've got Bret Hart's autobiography signed by Bret, and obviously I went and got it signed by him in a bookshop in Metro Centre. Like, and I had to buy the book, but other than that, autograph is free. Do you know what I mean? But like, it was cool to get to meet Bret and speak to him for, you know, a few moments. And like, you know, yes, the book's signed, but it's like, when I look at it and I get to tell people that story of how I met Bret that day, like, that all adds to it rather than just, oh, well, I've got this signed thing by Bret. No, I've never met him though, or he didn't, like, I wasn't there when he signed it. And so I'm like, and I'm not everyone, do you know what I mean? Obviously people are different, but that's how I just feel about autographs. It's a bit, you know, unless they passed away, then like I probably really do want to have gotten it myself, just because it adds to the story and the magic. But yeah, so that brings us to an end. Obviously, very excited for Book of Boba Fett coming. Very excited for the Mandalorian comic. Not Mandalorian comic, the Bounty Hunter Wars comic. Sorry. I think I need to get caught up on these books. Definitely. 100%, and comics as well. I've got a few sitting. I need to read them. What's the comic you most looking forward to then? Is it the Bounty Hunter Wars?
The latest Darth Vader one, because it looks cool.
Yeah, so this Vader one's going to have Hexagon, is that right?
10.
What issue is that?
This one's issue 11 that's coming out now, and then the next one after that, it starts a new arc. It starts that War of the Bounty Hunters, so I'm guessing he won't be on Hexagon for long. So this next issue will be pretty interesting.
Do you know when the Volume 2 trade paperbacks are out?
Yeah, I got the first one as well.
So I've got Vader, Dark.
Yeah.
I've got Dark Heart to say I need to read. We'll review it on the podcast if you want going forward.
Yeah.
Once I've read it, which is the biggest challenge. But yeah, Ian, where can people find you on social media?
Twitter and Instagram, all lowercase, at Star Wars Ian.
Awesome. Obviously, you can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at Star Wars Podcast, and we're on Twitter at BorsStar. Please check us out, give us a follow. We've been doing some giveaways lately. You could win yourself some stickers and some Star Wars pin badges. But yeah,
no problem, mate. Anytime.
Ian, thank you very much for joining us. And everyone out there, stay safe, and thank you very much for listening. May the Force be with you all.
Hi, this is Savannah.
And this is Brian from the Dorky Diva Show.
And you're listening to Star Wars,
the best place for below-average Star Wars.
Please follow us on Twitter at BorsStar. That's at BoresStar. And on Instagram and Facebook at Star Wars Podcast. You can also reach us on email at starwarspodcast@gmail.com. The Star Wars Show can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and wherever podcasts can be found. Please give us a like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a 5-star review. May the Force be with you.